Welcome to Business Class. I'm Steve Ekstrom from Learn Tourism, a nonprofit academy dedicated to advancing the tourism industry through innovative training and sustainable practices. Our mission? To empower travel professionals and communities with the knowledge they need to create meaningful, authentic, and sustainable tourism experiences. Ready to join us on this journey? Visit learntourism.org and start making a difference today.
I'm Jorge Pérez. I'm the CEO for Discover Puerto Rico since September 15th of 2025.
Which is a new gig.
Yeah, it is. I was in the venue management, a group convention side of the business for 15 years, and in the entertainment industry for the past 6, managing the Coliseo de Puerto Rico, which was the site of La Residencia.
So, entertainment, tourism, the overlap, La Residencia. Bad Bunny, how many times did you see him in concert?
Fortunately, because of my job, I was there 21 nights of the 31. So didn't get to all of them, but was fortunate enough to see 21.
Did you ever think you would go see a concert 21 times?
No, never. Not even my favorite artist. I would not imagine that. It was a unique event, and a lot was riding on our shoulders, sure that everything from our side ran well. Fortunately, for 31 nights, everything was impeccable. No issues with the building, with the venue. That's the type of business you have to be there physically. It was all worth it. Plus, every one of the 21 nights, I got goosebumps.
That's awesome. There was a lot of press about the economic impact that had on Puerto Rico. What do you think the long-term effects of something like that might have on the destination?
Yeah, the reports, and depending on which one you read, anywhere from 300 to 500 estimated economic impact. I think it just serves as a foundation to build upon. It was a great promotion for our, besides the approximately 200,000 visitors that came from outside of Puerto Rico to experience not only the concert, but 5 hours they were having an experience. But then they were out about days before and days after. Our visitors communicated the type of experience they had. And mostly the main theme was our people. They were treated, hospitality, the kindness, the warmth of our people. It's a foundation to build upon. We've had exposure worldwide with high recognition athletes like LeBron James, the soccer player that were in Puerto Rico. There's marketing dollars that can pay that type of endorsement. We have a firm foundation. People didn't know about Puerto Rico, know where we are, what we're about, and engage as consumers. It's our job and responsibility to convert those into visits with all tools we, besides regular promotion efforts. But this definitely serves as a foundation to build upon. Now with the announcement of the Super Bowl, it even amplifies the promotion we're going to get.
What did you think you wanted to be as an adult?
I lived in a tourist, so I lived in Condado. That's where I grew up. It's right where the main hotels are. I was always exposed to tourism from a very early age. From the beginning, it was either hotel or restaurant I wanted to go into. I had a keen interest in that side of tourism, just being exposed to it and seeing how it impacted the island as a whole. From my perspective as a youngster, it impacted our community, which was one of the main tourist areas.
What is the greatest misconception that people have about Puerto Rico?
I think we need to educate. People are not sure if we are part of the U.S. and you don't need a passport to visit Puerto Rico. Connectivity is wide. We have 120 direct major U.S. cities on a daily basis. So I think it's more than misconception. It's a wide group of people understand what we are, where we are, how to get here. Very easy. We have international flavor, but we also have all the commodities, safety, assurance of being part of the federal system. Separate. We are part of the U.S. We're tropical in the Caribbean with all the flavor and the mix of international and U.S. domestic from the legal standpoint.
What made you step into this role?
So this role was open when Brad Dean left in February, and when Law 17 of 2017 created the DMO in Puerto Rico, I was the general manager at the convention center, and I was watching the press conference. It was a novel idea for Puerto Rico. I said, I want to run our DMO. I had just been in the GM role at the convention center for 2 years, so I still was learning about that sector of the business. But it was very attractive. And I remember seeing that press conference. So when this position was vacant, I had a few people reach out and say, listen, would you consider playing? At that time, we had a new governor and a whole administration coming in January of 2025. We had just announced the residency, which I'll be honest, at the moment it was announced, I didn't think it was going to be as huge as it really was. I don't think everybody knew it would be huge, but I don't think it understood it would have the impact it had on promoting Puerto Rico on tourism. So there was a lot happening, a lot of transition with those two events mainly. So at that moment, I consider it. Months later, somebody reached out and asked me again, and they said that there's a board position available. Do you want to consider it? And I said, board position is attractive. I can stay here. And so I submitted the documents for the board position, and they came back and said, listen, do you want to apply? At that time, I thought sometimes opportunities are not always there and you have to take advantage of situations, opportunities, better said, when they're in front of you. And so I said, this is here. It may not be here in the next few months if you really look into it and you want to pursue it. So I applied. I went through the whole interview process and I was fortunate enough to be selected.
What is something you love to do that might surprise most people on your staff?
I'm an athlete of sports. You already know that I used to be a volleyball player, can't jump anymore. So I've transitioned to more sport. I play beach tennis every morning and that keeps me healthy and with a sharp. Besides that, there's not much I've done in the industry here for the past 15 years that they would be surprised about because it's mostly entertainment and the sports side.
How would you like people on your team to describe you?
Well, I'm adapting to a new team, but I would want them to think that I'm a fair person, that I treat people fairly, very sensible to the different situations that employees can have. I want them to feel that we work in a very flexible environment because we require a lot of work from them. I've always seen this as a two-way street. When our employees need from us as a boss or employer, it's time to get back. I want them to feel that it's a very comfortable workplace, that we do things differently.
If there were one or two things that you're able to accomplish in the next 3 to 5 years in this role, what might they be?
Initially, within the first 12 months, I really want to unify the tourism sector. From the outside, I've seen a lot of disconnect between key parties, our ecosystem. So we have to work together. I think we receive almost 7 million visitors per year. I think we can double that in that time frame. And that takes a lot of work. The best promotion for any destination is an exceptional experience. So when people have a good experience at the destination, they become ambassadors, they promote, they tell neighbors, they tell friends of what a great time they had. And that's a destination effort. We have to have a training program that we can give to everyone, the small, medium, and large businesses. So we're all on the same mindset as far as service expectations. There's a lot of stuff. Safety. I've been working with the police department, the chief of police, and with the head of the Puerto Rico tourism company to have a security and safety plan for visitors. So this is a guide to make sure that when our visitors come, they understand what is safe and provide the local stakeholders the opportunity to be part of a safety program. We're going to have some certifications on the business side, have business owners educated and trained on safety issues. It's a multi-faceted approach. We have to provide a consistent service on all levels. And I think that with all the local agencies, hotels, small, medium business owners, we can unite and work towards a common goal, which is increasing visitors, increasing average daily stay. So that is reachable, but it has to be a full destination effort.
Who do you look up to as a mentor?
So I've been very fortunate to work with iconic figures in my industry, in the entertainment and convention worlds. My first boss when I was just named GM at the convention center was Brad Gesner. He was a GM of the LA Convention Center. He taught me a lot. He always told me this is a relationship business. I've always used that as mantra to build relations. There's a Mark Twain quote that says, when you need a friend, it's too late to find one. Building relationships, creating trust. And I'll take that approach in this, which is more macro in my sector. Building relations with those meeting planners, building trust is important. I've had a lot of mentors, bosses who I always try to mostly the good, but there's always things that you say as a boss, I wouldn't want to do that. So you try to learn from all the aspects of a boss.
What questions do you like to ask when you're interviewing people to be a part of your team?
I'm very focused on learning about the person. I think that when you look at a resume, you can understand if a person is qualified or not. So when I approach an interview, I want to learn about the person, about what that person likes to do, what's his philosophy, what type of supervisor he thinks he can describe himself as. I really focus on learning about the person because you can tell a lot about education, experience, what the person has done on paper, but what really sets candidates apart is who they are. You want to work with people who share your vision, who share your philosophy. So that's something I really focus on, knowing who am I interviewing and how this person is going to integrate into our team and if how he can be a plus or an asset for our team.
How would you describe your philosophy to building a team?
Inclusive. Part of being a leader is having a balance. You have to be firm, a vision, push your people, but you also have humility, listen. So it's having that balance. And I have learned along the way, being a young leader or a newly named GM, it's that balance of being firm, having vision, and also humble. You can be in that position today, maybe not there tomorrow. Listening and learning have been key aspects of my journey. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And that brings me to always surrounding yourself with talented people and people who know more than you. Here in Discover Puerto Rico, I'm in the same industry because I've been involved with groups, conventions, and tourism. This is a very specific line of work that we do. So I'm very honored to be surrounded with very intelligent people promoting and marketing a destination. Very different than promoting a concert or a venue. So I'm very fortunate to have a very sound group of professionals. You never want to be the smartest person in the room.
I take pride in not being the smartest person in most rooms. How are you most like each of your parents?
My dad was a successful executive. He was the general manager for Mars Candy in the late 80s for Puerto Rico, South America, and the Caribbean. I got that part from him. For my mom, the resiliency that has helped me along the way, specifically after Hurricane Maria. If it wasn't for resiliency, we wouldn't have been able to manage the building, which eventually became the command center for FEMA, for the local government, and the recovery efforts were focused there. My dad, executive part, the responsibility for my mom, the resiliency, and the passion of going to work every day.
If you could sum up the culture or spirit of Puerto Rico in one word, what word did you choose?
Vibrant. If it's just one word, it's vibrant. All the aspects. I think that we have so much to offer, and anywhere that you look, that's the word that would best describe our people, our gastronomy, our nightlife, our culture is vibrant.
Tell me about your first job and what you learned at that job that you carry with you to this day.
My first job was at a family-owned restaurant. I went to school at Penn State, and my dad called me after he retired from Mars. He said, I just purchased a restaurant. I want you to come work with me. I was finishing up at Penn State and went directly to the restaurant. And that's where I was introduced to tourism. We were in an area where we received a lot of tourists. I learned the value of service, relations, because there was options, and I saw that a lot of people came back to our restaurant. They liked when the owner or the owners sat down, chatted with them, knew them by their name. That value and attention to details, very restaurants, there's a lot of details that you have to stay on top. So that was my first job. And while I was there, I knew that wasn't going to be enough. So I did an MBA in finance and a dual concentration in finance and marketing. I kept studying because I knew the restaurant was not going to be there forever, that whenever I wanted to do something outside of the family restaurant, I would need additional support academically to pursue another route or another job.
How would you like your family to describe you, and how is that different than how you would like your team at work to describe you?
It's my family that I'm a hard worker, that I'm away from home a long time, but I'm working for them. So just from a family perspective, that they understand all the hours that I'm away from home or traveling, that it's for them.
What has been the greatest act of kindness that you have ever witnessed?
I've seen a lot. Something I really enjoyed in my years in venue management, particularly in the Coca-Cola Music Hall, which is a 4,000 capacity venue, and Coliseo, the larger arena. People reach out with special situations, a sick child, a sick parent, very personal situations. We would have someone in town, an international, well-known act. The probability of these persons seeing their favorite artist would not be possible. I really enjoyed being able to have people go backstage. For me, it was all about relations. So I go back to relations with the promoters, with management. It's a two-way street. So when I would go and say, listen, I have a very unique situation. I have a young girl, cancer, her favorite artist is so-and-so, and I'm talking to the manager or the promoter. Almost every time it was a yes with no question. So having the ability to see those family members in tears, meeting their favorite artist was something that, from my perspective, I always liked to do. Any opportunity I had to connect those two persons, I always did everything I could to do it. And it was very gratifying. The response I had from the family was always incredible, because otherwise there would be no way they could meet their favorite artist. And the situations were always very heartwarming, and just being able to connect those. I've seen a lot of acts of kindness, and I was always honored to be part of making a dream come true for someone. I did that for many years. So there's many stories that are very gratifying for me, seeing the reaction of them and their families.
What would you like to ask?
Who's the audience of your podcast? Where are you based?
Sure. I used to have a house in Fort Lauderdale. I sold the house 4 years ago. I travel full time in a very fancy bus.
Okay.
So I'm currently in Florida, but not for too much longer. I'll be traveling. If you go to the Destinations International Conference in Portland next year, you'll see me rolling up in my bus. The audience of the podcast, it's about 17,000 subscribers. It started with destination marketing professionals, your peers, CEOs, executives in the destination marketing space and the tourism space, in learning about leadership and sharing what you've experienced from a career path perspective. One of the things that we've realized is that the tourism career path is often serpentine. It has twists and turns. It rarely starts out as a clear, direct path to the CEO's seat. And that's been really interesting to share with more people. One of the things that you mentioned when you were talking about that act of kindness, somebody mentioned to me that one question he likes to ask people in their interview is, are you a good person? That pattern of kindness, wanting to give back to your community in a way that you can and you're uniquely able to with your skills and your experience, is really something special, I think, in the DMO space.
Have you been to Puerto Rico? That's my other question.
Of course I have, and I loved every moment of it. It's a beautiful destination. The people are kind, friendly, and welcoming. The beaches are beautiful. The architecture is amazing. The food is delicious. I can't say anything bad about it.
I agree with you.
If folks want to plan a visit to Puerto Rico, how would they do?
Yeah, discoverpuertorico.com. They can go to our website and get an idea of the different alternatives that we have. They can take a look at our culture, our music, our gastronomy, and from there, plan it accordingly to their taste. There's a lot to do. We're a small island, but there's so many attractions and offerings for different flavors. So there's outdoor activities for the active traveler, for adventures. We have a more relaxed setting. If you just lay on the beach and drink a pina colada, there's to offer our page, discoverpuertorico.com, get an idea of what we offer and plan your trip.
So that's the interview. Nice and simple. I appreciate you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Good luck. Welcome to the new gig.
Thanks for tuning in to Business Class. This episode was brought to you by Learn Tourism, the nonprofit academy where we advance the tourism industry with cutting-edge training and sustainable practices. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to visit learntourism.org to learn more about our programs and how you can get involved. Until next time, stay curious, continue learning and making a difference through tourism.